Hey friends, welcome back to Align Vitality. We've been talking about how chronic stress impacts nearly every system in the body, from your digestion, hormones, energy, mood, and even how clearly we think and how we lead. Well, today we're talking about why your body chose this pattern. Your body isn't broken, it really is just protecting you. Women sometimes come to this point wondering, why am I suddenly anxious when I used to be calm? Why am I exhausted but I can't sleep? Why can't I handle stress the way I used to? It can feel like something is wrong with you, like your body has betrayed you, but what's actually happening is that your body is working overtime to keep you functioning in a season of higher demand and lower resilience. Do you want to recharge your energy, restore your mental clarity, and finally feel like yourself again? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to Align Vitality, the podcast that offers faith and functional health strategies for high-achieving, health-conscious women in midlife who want to heal from chronic stress, body and spirit. I'm your host, Tanya, a certified functional health practitioner, Christian life coach, and fellow midlife woman who knows what it's like to look strong on the outside while struggling silently on the inside. Here, we get real about anxiety, brain fog, burnout, hormone shifts, and the hidden toll of chronic stress. And more importantly, we talk about the path to healing. Each week, you'll find practical strategies and faith-fueled encouragement to help you restore your God-given energy, calm your nervous system, and reclaim peace in this season of life. If you're ready to stop pushing through and start thriving in the abundant life you were created for, let's get after it. This is Align Vitality. Now, your body has a built-in surveillance system. At the center of it is a small structure in your brain called the amygdala. You can think of it like a smoke detector. Its job is simple. It asks, is this safe or not? When it senses a demand, threat, or overload, whether physical or emotional, it sends a signal to the hypothalamus, which acts like a command center. From there, the message travels through your nervous system and your hormone system, saying, mobilize energy, prepare for action, something requires attention. One of the main ways your body mobilizes energy is by releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. And these hormones increase alertness, they raise blood sugar for quick fuel, they sharpen your mental focus, and they temporarily shut down non-essential systems like digestion and reproduction. This happens all before you can consciously think about it. Now, in a true emergency, this is life-saving. But when it happens day after day, the body starts reallocating resources long-term, away from repair and toward survival. And remember, your body reacts to perceived threat, not just actual danger. A tense conversation, a heavy workload, ongoing worry, or emotional strain can trigger the same internal alarm as physical danger. Now, when the stress response activates, your nervous system shifts into survival mode. And this can look different from person to person. You've heard of the fight, flight, or freeze, and now there's a fourth F, the fawn response. These are all different versions of the stress or survival response. So fight might look like irritability, tension, feeling easily frustrated. This might show up as snapping at people you love, or feeling constantly on edge, or having a very low tolerance for small frustrations. You might experience a flight type of reaction, and this might present as anxiety, overthinking, restlessness, trouble relaxing. You may stay busy all the time because slowing down makes you feel more anxious, so you keep moving, planning, organizing, thinking. You might have a freeze response, which could present as brain fog, fatigue, feeling stuck or unmotivated. And this is often misunderstood as laziness or procrastination, but it's really a shutdown response. You may want to do things, but you feel like your brain and your body just won't cooperate. And finally, we have the fawn response. And this looks like people-pleasing, over-functioning, taking responsibility for other people's emotions. This response is especially common in women who have learned to maintain peace by meeting everyone else's needs first. It can look like saying yes when you want to say no, or avoiding conflict, or feeling responsible for other people's comfort. None of these are personality flaws. They are all nervous system strategies. So here's the part a lot of people may not know. The stress response was designed to complete a cycle. And that cycle is supposed to be activation, action, release, and then return to safety. In ancient times, stress was usually physical and short-lived. Escaping danger, facing harsh weather, protecting your tribe, and the body could complete the cycle. But modern stress often doesn't allow us to complete that loop. Today, our stress is often psychological and ongoing, like deadlines, finances, caregiving, constant information, relational tension. There's no clear finish line, so the body never gets the message that the danger has passed. You think about the stress, you carry the stress, you manage the stress, but you don't discharge the stress. So the nervous system says, we're still in it, stay ready, stay on guard. Busyness can actually keep the system activated because there's never a signal that says, okay, we're safe now, you can let your guard down. Even scrolling stressful news or emails late at night can reactivate the system right before sleep. So now we talk about where faith and biology beautifully overlap. Scripture calls us to stillness, to prayer, to trust and surrender, not just spiritually, but because those states actually signal safety to the body. Stillness slows our breathing. Slower breathing calms the nervous system. A calm nervous system lowers our stress hormones. Prayer and surrender reduce the mental load of control, which reduces perceived threat. This is not just spiritual comfort, this is nervous system regulation. Practices like prayer, deep breathing, worship, and quiet reflection activate the parasympathetic nervous system, often referred to as the rest and digest system, through the vagus nerve. And this pathway tells the body, you can stand down, you are safe. In other words, spiritual practices don't just change your thoughts, they change your physiology. In midlife, this stress response system becomes even more sensitive because hormonal changes reduce some of the buffering capacity that you had in your earlier years. What you used to handle easily may now feel really overwhelming, not because you're weaker, but because the body is prioritizing conservation and protection. Think of this time as your body shifting from push-through mode to preserve and protect mode. So if you're feeling fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, hormonal shifts, digestive changes, these aren't signals that your body is failing. They're signs that your body has been working overtime to protect you in what it believes is a high-demand, unsafe environment. Remember the scripture that reads in Psalm 139, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So your stress response is part of that wonderful design. And our goal is not to fight your body. It's to help it feel safe enough to stand down, relax, and allow those rest and digest systems to function properly. You don't need to heal stress patterns by forcing discipline or pushing harder. You actually heal by sending new signals of safety. Now that can look like we talked about, slowing your breathing. Even a few slow exhales that are longer than your inhales can begin telling the brain that the threat has passed. It might mean setting boundaries, both internally and externally. Doing things to reduce your mental load. Practicing prayer and times of stillness. Gentle movement. Rhythmic activities like walking, rocking, or light stretching can actually help discharge stored stress energy from the body. Rest. Doing creative activities with your hands like knitting, crocheting, drawing, painting, pulling at picky pads like my twin does. Repetitive hand activities send a powerful signal of safety because they combine rhythm, focus, and a sense of completion. Now, we don't overpower the stress response. Our goal is to retrain it and to allow it to complete its loop and return to safety. Friend, if this episode helped you to see things a little bit differently, I hope it brought some relief. You're not weak. You're not failing. Your body has been trying to keep you going. If you've been blaming yourself for not being as productive or patient or resilient as you once were, I hope this reframes the story a bit for you. Your body hasn't turned against you. It's been trying to carry you through. And next time on the show, we're going to talk about something deeply connected to this, and that is why surrender and releasing control are not just spiritual acts, but they are actual functional health strategies. Until then, move gently, be grace-giving to yourself, because your body is wiser than you think. Thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. If today's episode encouraged or blessed you, would you please take a minute to leave a rating and written review on Apple Podcast? It means the world to me, and it helps more women like you discover this message of hope and healing. If you're ready to take the next step in your functional health journey, join my interest list at alignvitalityhealth.com. And remember, this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical advice, nor is it intended to diagnose or treat disease. Please consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your health. Until next time, I'm Tanya Ingesether, reminding you that healing is possible and your best season is still ahead.